Does Kathy learn her lesson after stepping out on her marriage? My name is Ted, a 52-year-old man living in New York. Not too long ago, I finalized my divorce from my wife, Kathy, who was 47 at the time of our separation. We had shared 20 years of marriage and have a son named Ron, who is now 19 and attending college in another city. I run a modest but successful business that provides a comfortable life. Kathy and I first crossed paths about 25 years ago in a bar in Manhattan. It was a spontaneous Friday night out with friends when I spotted her from across the room. There was something magnetic about her, an energy I couldn't ignore. I approached her and struck up a conversation. We ended up talking for hours, and I was instantly drawn to her sharp mind, lively spirit, and zest for life. Our bond deepened quickly. We started dating soon after that night, and a few years into our relationship, I proposed to her beneath a grand oak tree in Central Park. She accepted, and we had a small, heartfelt wedding surrounded by those closest to us. As my business grew, we never had to worry about money. I provided Kathy with a life of comfort, luxury, and ease. Still, many of her friends were married to wealthy men and lived extravagant lives, often without working. Over time, some of them divorced and ended up receiving generous alimony payments. I repeatedly warned Kathy to be cautious around these women. I never felt comfortable about them, especially on nights when I had to pick her up from their loud, excessive parties. A few of them even made passes at me, though I never brought it up with Kathy. I didn't want to cause trouble and assumed she wouldn't let their behavior influence her. She always reassured me that no matter how wild her friends were, her heart belonged to our family. I trusted her, and life went on. Then came her 45th birthday. She insisted on going out with her friends that evening, even though I'd planned for us to celebrate together. She told me one of her friends was leaving town and that they had a farewell gathering planned. Though disappointed, I didn't argue. I stayed home that night, alone with a bottle of Jack Daniels for company. Kathy was an avid user of social media, especially Instagram and TikTok. She updated her followers daily, and her birthday celebration was no exception. It was streamed live. What I witnessed turned my stomach. Her friends presented her with a cake shaped like a male organ, topped with white cream. Kathy laughed, posed, and even took a bite while everyone around her clapped and danced. Later, they headed to a male strip club. Watching it unfold online, I was appalled. When she came home, I confronted her. I told her flatly that what she'd done was highly inappropriate, not just as my wife, but as a mother whose teenage son might see everything she shared. I brought up the strip club, and she claimed it had been a surprise arranged by her friends. I told her that the surprise ended the moment she willingly walked into that place. Her actions, I said, were not befitting a married woman. Kathy broke down in tears. I didn't say much more. I needed space and slept in the guest room that night. The next morning, she left for the gym without speaking a word. The tension between us only grew from there. 2 weeks later, I tried to clear the air. I asked if she was still upset about our argument. Instead of answering directly, she accused me of being jealous. She said I didn't have any friends and would never understand what it was like to throw a fun, exciting party. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I reminded her that I chose not to go to strip clubs because I respected my marriage. Her choices, I told her, were disgraceful. The conversation ended there, and I left for work. Though we eventually started talking again, things didn't truly improve. Kathy became even more absorbed in her TikTok content. Her daily vlogs began attracting a wider audience, and I stopped watching them altogether, choosing instead to focus on my own life. When my birthday came around, I spent the day with Ron. Kathy was there physically but spent most of the time glued to her phone, responding to comments and interacting with her followers. Ron, clearly frustrated, leaned over and asked me, "What's wrong with Mom?" I joked that she'd caught the social media bug, and we shared a laugh about it. But on our way home, my patience snapped. I pulled the car over to the shoulder of the highway and asked Kathy to get out. Though I was boiling inside, I tried to keep my composure. She stepped outside, immediately pulling out her phone to live stream the scenery. I took her phone firmly, ended the broadcast, and told her seriously that when she was with family, she needed to be fully present. I told her our family deserved her focus, not her camera. She stayed silent, then got back into the car without saying a word. A year passed, and once again it was Kathy's birthday. I wished her at midnight and gave her a stunning gold bracelet encrusted with diamonds. She kissed me in thanks, but minutes later, she got dressed and left to join her friends. I was furious. When she returned that night, I asked her if I still mattered to her at all. She was intoxicated, so I didn't expect a clear reply. The next morning, I asked if she would attend therapy with me because I feared our marriage wouldn't survive if things continued as they were. She hurried off with her juice and headed to the gym. I stayed home, determined to have a serious talk that evening. When she came back with her friends, I pulled her aside and asked if we could speak privately in the bedroom. The atmosphere was tense, but I had to confront the reality. I asked her plainly what she wanted and whether she was willing to put effort into saving our relationship. Kathy sat down and confessed she had been contemplating divorce for 2 years. She said she felt like she was at a point in her life where she needed a fresh start. I was furious. I told her her friends were nothing but lonely, unhappy women preying on wealthy men for money. I warned her that the outside world wasn't as glamorous as it appeared, and there were people ready to take advantage of her. She yelled back, "So what? I want to live my life. I'm not going to come to you for pity." I replied, "If you do, you'll find nothing but wolves and hyenas ready to feast on what's left of you." Her answer was cold. "Fine. Then so be it. I'll be content." The room fell into silence that day. No more words, no more debates. The next day, Kathy posted a video online announcing that she had been planning her divorce for 2 years and was finally getting what she wanted. "I'm just being honest," she said. "I don't know what's next. I'm tired. So, I'm getting a divorce. I've tried to change so many things about my life. I'm scared. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. But now I'm getting cold feet. This is only the beginning. Reality is coming, and it's going to hit hard." She called me multiple times afterward. I answered once, and she said she just wanted to talk because she missed me. I gave it one last chance and asked if she wanted to reconsider. But the next day, when the divorce papers were officially filed, there was no turning back. She hung up on me. A few weeks later, the divorce was finalized. Kathy moved out, and we never had a proper farewell. Our son took the breakup hard, though he admitted deep down he saw it coming. The day after the divorce was finalized, Kathy posted a message online. "I'm doing okay. A week ago I couldn't see any light ahead, but now there are tiny pinpricks of light, like small holes in aluminum foil. Not enough to see what's beyond, but enough to know there is light. Even on my worst days, I go to bed knowing I'm closer to that light. I'll look back on this and say I didn't freeze. I keep moving forward. I am strong. I can do this. Good luck poking your foils." A few days later, she posted again. "Look into why so many women are realizing they don't need men. I don't have to tolerate abuse or cheating anymore. I don't even need a man to have a child. That doesn't mean I don't want a partner or that all men are bad." Then she introduced a new man in her life, a handsome guy in his 20s with a six-pack and a sculpted physique. I thought to myself, well, that's at least a smart way to spend my money. I left for work, knowing this wouldn't end well. The very next day, I saw a video of Kathy in tears, saying she had broken up with him. I expected the relationship wouldn't last, but that breakup was incredibly fast. A mutual friend later confided that Kathy hadn't ended things. He dumped her. She was too embarrassed to admit it publicly. Not long afterward, she was spotted dining with yet another young man at a restaurant. I happened to be there for a meeting and slipped out quickly once it was over. Kathy didn't see me. Watching her with someone new was awkward, but this time it didn't sting. I felt nothing. Then a friend sent me a video titled, 40 and naughty. It showed Kathy dancing in lingerie at a private party, even taking off her top as her friends cheered her on. I blocked that friend immediately. A few days later on TikTok, I saw Kathy posing poolside in a bikini, proudly showing off her figure. "This is what a 47-year-old looks like," she declared. It felt like a new low. She even shared her Tinder profile. Out of curiosity, I clicked the link and saw photos of her nearly nude, with only small patches of fabric covering her. Kathy posted another video soon after, this time out with a different young man. He clearly didn't want to be filmed and pulled his hoodie over his head. It was obvious he was just there for a good time and would vanish soon. A few days later, she posted again. "I've made a decision. Do I regret it? I don't know. Did I make a mess? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't so bad. But now I realize my marriage wasn't so terrible. It was okay. My husband loved me, and I ruined it. I'm a wreck. Ted warned me, but I didn't listen. I just want my old life back. I've lost my husband, and my friends are gone. I just want to return to my family." Then came the harsh reply. "You were warned but ignored it. Now that Chad and Ty have finished with their fling, you want to come crawling back? No way. I don't settle for leftovers." One day, Kathy showed up at my office. When I asked why she was there, she said she wanted to come home. I laughed. Home? That place doesn't exist anymore. I sold the house and bought that Nirvana pad you called it. There's no home left. She asked if she could move back in. I told her I share my bed with a faithful giant named Bernard, my dog, and he doesn't like strangers around. "I'm not a stranger," she argued. "Yes, Kathy, to Bernard, you are. And there's no room for you in my life. My name's Will Smith, and you're no Jada Pinkett Smith. If my wife chooses to leave, that's it for her. I don't waste time making sad faces. I take it on the chin and move forward." Kathy left in tears. I went home to my dog. Later, I saw another post from her, lamenting how disillusioned she was with the world and how difficult it was for a woman her age to find love again. Yes, Kathy, I thought, you were warned. Dating at 47 is a different game. Fruit is eaten when it's ripe. Wait too long, and it spoils. Nature teaches us harsh lessons, but we ignore them. You had everything, yet you sought something forbidden to a married woman. So you left, and now you're left behind. As for me, I'm not planning to marry again. I'm in my 50s and don't see the point of chasing love anymore. My dog gives me all the affection I need. When my son is ready, I'll hand over my business to him. Until then, I'm content soaking up the peace of the woods and the warmth of the sun.